I'm making a very simple recipe, spinach dip. So I have a very hot pan over here. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter and a little of olive oil. Whenever I make any type of cream sauce, I really like to use butter because butter basically complements the cream. And I need my pan to get hot. So when I put these items in there, they're gonna start cooking immediately. There's gonna be a little bit of water splashing because they are frozen, but that's okay, don't be scared. And I'm gonna put both the scallions and the onions together with a little bit of salt and pepper. As this is sauteing, I'm just gonna chop a little bit of garlic for extra flavor. When you see that your onions are translucent, that means they have started to release their flavors. It doesn't need more cooking. At that point, I'm gonna put the garlic inside, and the garlic, we wanna basically to saute it until the aroma comes out. Once the aroma comes out, it's ready. We need to go to the next step. If you love wine like I do, I usually put wine at this stage and let it reduce by half. It will just give it another level. I don't have any wine, I don't put any. You have, you wanna get freaky, put that in there. Wonderful, so the aroma came out, and at this point I'm gonna put some cream cheese. Now, this recipe you could do in different types of ways. So you could put some cream at this point and reduce the cream, or you could add a little bit of creamy cheese, like a goat cheese or a boursin. So we're gonna let this cream cheese soften up a little bit here, and the cream cheese is gonna give it a very creamy texture, kind of like a heavy cream. All right, at this point I'm gonna put my frozen spinach in here. And if you have artichokes, you could add artichokes. Now the spinach has a lot of water inside, so that's gonna be released. But I do have a little bit of milk on the side, just in case it becomes too dry, because we want this to be very creamy. I also have some chicken that I made earlier this week. I'm gonna add that in, make sure I have a little bit of more protein. And it needs a little bit of milk here. So have a little bit of milk or water on the side so you can moisten it up. And now we're gonna reduce the heat even more. Make sure you scrape the bottoms, which is all the flavor. And I'm gonna put the lid on top to make sure that my spinach actually softens and all the water is kept inside so it doesn't dry up. In the meantime, I have a little bit of dill that I dry up the other day. I'm just gonna roughly chop it, but it's already dry. I love to put dill because it just reminds me of the Greek spinach pie. We're gonna finish it off with some cheese that is gonna melt. So you could use this exact recipe, not only as a dip, but also stuffing with a little bit of ricotta. If you put ricotta, you could make it into a lasagna. I put the chicken in there, so now it becomes like a full meal that you could put over rice, over pasta. I'm gonna turn off the heat now, and I'm gonna finish it off with the dill. And then the traditional recipe always has some nutmeg, and I love the earthiness and the different dimension it brings to this dish. So a little bit of nutmeg, but if you don't have any or you don't like this spice, you don't have to put it. And I'm gonna finish it off with a little bit of pecorino just to thicken the sauce up and give it a little salty and acidic taste. Oh my God, look how cheesy it has become. Isn't that wonderful? What I have done for my personal use today is I made some chips made out of cheese, because you guys know I eat low carb. This is a low carb and keto recipe, and I'm gonna serve it with those chips. You could even put it on top of pizza. You could make a calzone. Look at this beauty. I'm gonna do one more thing before we go. I love truffle. You don't have to put that, but I just love it, and I know it's gonna go so well here. I'm gonna take straight from the spoon. How divine, with this simple 7-minute recipe, low carb, keto. You could make it vegetarian if you don't put the chicken inside, and you could substitute the creams for other vegan creams to create the same exact effect. This basic recipe has hundreds of different variations. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Keep on cooking.